Today, I found Forensic, who I will call Frederick, on my front lawn cutting down a tree with an axe. I went outside and shot Forensic with the shotgun and tied him to the same tree. He hadn't cut it all the way. I got a boss saw with blades. It's not supposed to be a reference to Happy Rots in Hell, okay? Attached him to the front of the car. I got in my car and rammed the car into Frederick. I backed up and rammed into him again before getting out of the car. I then threw him into the fireplace. When I went outside, and right in front of the tree where Forensic was killed, he left Happy's puppet. So I threw it with his body. I finally did it. I killed Frederick. I have my doubts. November 6, 2011. I'm planning to go where Forensic was on the 8th. How do I know where Forensic is? Well, you'll know the address. In Happy Free, rows of blood and bones. Can of kill? Well, Forensic might be hiding there. How is Forensic still alive? I just recently saw him. But this time, the filters of the gas mask were missing, and you could see the scarred skin to the best of my observation. November 9th, 2011. This post will be the absolute final post to the blog. The sad thing is that I left many questions unanswered. However, the blog post will or might be answered to one of them, which I can relate to Forensic Frederick. First off, I must talk about the trip to the address and what happened. Since I lived in the suburbs of Chicago and the address was near Alma, Colorado, I decided to take a car ride, but I took some things and photos of Frederick Gorant, just in case of Forensic I find is the true one. I also took some weapons, like a switchblade, the shotgun, and a katana. After driving for 12 hours, I woke up at 7 a.m., resting at the motel, driving for 6 more hours. I reached Alma, Colorado. The address, which I will not reveal for people's safety, was over 5 minutes, or 5 miles of Alma. I decided to drive over to the address, and there it was. It was a fancy abandoned house, sort of like the one Happy Rots in Hell. In fact, it was the same house with the ablit spray-painted sign that said, Happy Appy Funhouse. Why was that house rebuilt? I didn't know how. To make sure that Forensic didn't trap the front door, I peeked inside. Sure enough, there was yet again another gun trap, but it was not the kind of shotgun that was used in Happy Rots in Hell. No, it was a Winchester. I decided to sneak in through the window, but Forensic locked the window, so I had no choice but to shoot out the window. I then climbed in, making sure not to be cut by any of the glass. After that, I disalarmed the trap, and then took the Winchester. The house was completely abandoned, and all the lights were off, save for the room where the window was. I looked for the light switch, but I noticed the parts on the floor was wet, which for me meant the two things. There was a water spill, or there was blood on the floor. I ran to the light switch and tried to switch on the light, but there was no power on. So I headed for the circuit breaker. Sure enough, the circuit breaker only had one room with power, so I flicked on the switches and all the lights turned on. Then I went back to the staircase room, which had the light switch off, and I flicked it on, and there was some blood on the carpet and on the floor at the staircase room. Then I finally said, Hey, Forensic, I know you're here. I turned on the power for every room of the house. You can't hide from me forever in the shadows. There was no response, and I knew what was going to happen. I then screamed, Hey, Frederick! Roti, I know you're Forensic. And no response. I then went upstairs. I wondered if would I see Jenny and Danny's bodies if I looked hard enough? I went up to where Jenny was shot, and then I noticed that there was no body or bones where she was shot, just only a bloodstain. Vangurism, I guess who's here. I then froze and saw it was Frederick on the other side of the hallway. I then responded, "Are you going to run away from me this time?" He then said, "Now why would I do that? You know I'd never run away." I responded with, "Listen, Frederick, how do you keep coming back?" No response. Then Frederick said, "I have some people that work with me who posed as me so you couldn't kill me." Then I snapped back with, "But anyways, how did you get here?" And then I said, "There was an address listed on the 2 episodes of season 3, so I went to it." And Frederick said, "Ah, looks like I shouldn't have put the addresses in. Would you have made your search more fun for me?" Then I said, "Anyways, Frederick, you're going to die right now." Frederick said, "Catch me first." Then he jumped into the attic. I knew what was going to happen at a random time. He might jump down from the attic and claw my insides out. Then I had an idea. I would make him take the same path Danny used to kill Happy Appy. I pushed the mop switch, and yet no trapdoor opened. Then I stomped on it and it opened, and I slid in the tunnel. I heard Frederick come down from the attic and land on the floor before saying, "I know where you're going. You're using the bathroom tunnel." Then I ran, and I had to run to the cellar. After running for 100 or so feet, I heard Frederick opening the trap door, but luckily, I reached the cellar. The cellar was unlike the other houses, was burnt down, and had a buzzsaw with blades on the well as one being locked out of the gas pipe. I then looked all the buzzsaw blades out of the walls, and brung out the switchblade, katana, and shotgun. Frederick then entered the cellar and said, "Oh look, this reminds me of Happy Rots in Hell, which you will be doing." I then threw one of the buzzsaw blades at Frederick, and he jumped out of his way. He said, "You really expected me to get hit that easily?" And then grabbed the buzzsaw, and then threw it back at me faster than the speed that I could throw. I dodged it, and fired the shotgun at him. He got hit, but just as I got an ice pick from the ground. He then charged at me, but then I reloaded and fired at his leg. He fell, but managed to get the shotgun out of my hand. Unfortunately for him, I had no more ammo left for the Winchester. Then he hit me with the shin with the handle. I then tripped, but got the katana and tried to chop him up. Then he got up and grabbed the ice pick and swung it at me. I got out of the way and made him hit on some gas pipe, but no gas came out. Then I sat down because of my wounds. Then Frederick pulled out one of the thinner pipes and was going to hit me. When I realized the buzzsaw was next to me, I got it, roughed it up, and then sawed off his leg. Blood came out, which made me knew that it wasn't a prosthetic leg. Frederick screamed in pain and dropped the pipe. Then I got the pipe and started beating him up with it. After minutes long of hitting him, he stopped breathing. I then checked his pulse for nothing, not even a beat. I sighed in relief, and I had to check on his face to make sure that it was actual forensic, so I didn't have to fight him yet again. I took off his mask and took a look at the picture. It was the exact match. Forensic was Frederick Goreta, and now I had killed him, and I feel much safer. After burying Forensic's body, I left the house and got in my car and drove off to my Chicago home. Well, this is it. I can't believe I am going to have to stop posting on this blog, but I must stop posting Happy Appy because I pretty much did everything related to the show. I watched seasons 1, 2, and 3, killed Frederick or Forensic, played the Happy Appy game, even went to the studios. However, that does not mean that the search for answers isn't over. If you look hard enough, you could find the answers to be unexplained questions that relate to Happy Appy. Now you may be wondering two things. What will I do? And what do I regret when I quit posting on Happy Appy? Well, to be honest, I will actually open up another blog, which will be a short-lived one that talks about the Fright House Screamers. Remember that? That's I do regret. And I will be quitting posts on his blog. Well, I regret that I will have made a longer post on Appy and the Golden Apple's finished form. However, since I wanted to never see Appy again, I don't have any regrets. I'm sorry for leaving this blog, but I must part ways for now. See you soon. Garesam Yavarkos. Now, P.S. What happened to Miranda, Quincy, Jenny, and Danny, you may ask? Well, I have the answers for once. Miranda died in 2006 at the age of 22. Quincy died in 2006 at the age of 15. Jenny, unknown fate, possibly dead. Danny, still alive. He was 7 during the first episode starring him in 1999. He would be 28 right now. And that, my little pretties, was Appy, a creepypasta. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna be honest right here, right now, that this, Appy creepypasta was pretty popular. Now, I can't remember who the original author of this story is, nor did I remember. But if I find out who the original author of the story is, I'll be sure to give the author proper credit on this story. Now, I just wanted to get that out of the way. I know there's the Appy wiki that had, the stories, including the true version, I believe, that, includes, what was it? Gonna be honest, this story is definitely something. I'm gonna be completely honest. This story was definitely, a very interesting, this story was definitely, something. I'm not gonna lie right here, right now, when I say this, so, yeah. Now, apparently, the true version of Appy includes, November 10th, July 15th, and July 17th. The reason why I did not want to do the true version of it is because, well, this is like a really long creepypasta. The one that I'm reading is from, the Creepypasta Archives, which, to be fair, this story is actually one of the popular, creepypastas that got popular. It's one of these stories that you actually wonder, why did it get so popular to begin with? The answer is, I don't know. I don't know how this one got, popular to begin with. But for some reason, it did get popular. And I gotta be completely honest. I could definitely say a lot of people really don't like this story. And to be honest, I do understand why they didn't like this story. So, now, I actually did hear that this story was, is a troll pasta, and the story was intentionally terrible to be the worst creepypasta. So, I'm going to be, completely honest when I see this, is that I actually have heard of this story for a, long time, so I don't even know when I heard of this story. Now, I'm gonna be honest, folks. This story does have a decent concept, but I also have to say right now that it was basically really not good with the fact that this story actually included tragic events like the incident that happened 20 years ago. I'm not gonna say it, but you guys probably should know what I mean. And shock value stuff that was thrown in the story for the sake of throwing it in there. Now, but I mean, I could definitely say that the story definitely does play a pretty good concept in the story, but yet again, I mean, yeah, I'm not a fan of this story for what this is. Now, I mean, it's not as creepy as Andy's Apple Farm. I mean, that one was something. But I will have to really, say right now that this story honestly was, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, this story was definitely something, to be completely honest. I mean, I never actually heard of this story until Shadow Reader read it on his old channel. Now, I don't know if he plans to redo the other parts of the story. I think he might be planning to do it, but yet again, I'm not 100% on that note, so yeah. Well, my final thoughts on this story, I mean, this story's not my cup of tea, but I still found it enjoyable to read it, because, yeah, I decided to go ahead and read it, because, I thought this was an enjoyable story. I mean, it's just basically a blog entry story, but I definitely have to say it does have a pretty good concept for what this is. Now, there is more Happy Appy stories, include the remastered version of this one, on the Happy Appy wiki. I don't think I will be doing the sequels for it. Well, not right now. Maybe, but not gonna be 100% sure. So yeah, that I definitely would have to say is definitely something I would have to, basically I had to go out of my way and perfectly say at this one. So, what was I gonna do? What was I gonna do? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna sit here and basically go out of my way and say that, well, I could definitely say the grammar is pretty good in of its own self, and the story does have like a pretty good concept. It does have a really good concept. Maybe not the best concept in the world, but it's definitely something, as well as the good interesting concept for how this story really is. Now, yeah, I'm definitely going to be honest that this story definitely does have, somewhat of a good concept. It could use maybe a bit more but the only thing I would not really like was the fact that, certain tragic events and, shocking subject matters that I had to censor throughout the story, because, yeah, I mean, it wasn't really appropriate. But this was on the Creepypasta Archives wiki, is where I narrated the story from, if you are all wondering. Now, the story, I have to say, it's not my favorite. It's not bad, but it's not great either. I mean, it could use improvement, but that's just me. But yet again, I've not read the remastered version of it, so I'll take a look at it when I can. But I will not be doing a re-narration of all of it, because, yeah, that would just take too long. But okay. Anyways, that being said, I'm going to sit here and say this. This is just simply my own personal opinion. If you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is just simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of the story would have to be I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. It's not the best story I've seen. Not terrible, but the shocking subject matters can be, left out, as well as the tragic events that happened that were mentioned in it could be left out. But other than that, this story was not really, perfect. I can understand why people don't like this story. Like, I've seen some people give out their thoughts and opinions, and I have to understand, well, I can't say I agree with those people who say why the story was terrible. In my opinion, I didn't think it was that bad. Could use improvement, but that's just here or there. Anyways, that being said, I don't know who the original author of this story is, of this version I'm reading from, but if I find out who the original author of this story is, I'll give him or her proper credit. But as for now, I'm just going to leave it as anonymous for now until someone says so otherwise. So, anyways, that being the case, and with that being said, I'm going to sit here and just say right now, what did you guys think? Did you all enjoy this story? Did you all not? Also, what would you have personally done to make this story a lot better? Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you're new to this channel, Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so that way you guys won't miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.